the audio? Let's see. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to the paint party. Tonight we are doing a giveaway on the Heroquest Mage of the Mirror. So we got this guy right here. So the way we will do it is we are going to, by the way, this is all sponsored by HEROSHOP Duty. You can check his stuff out. He's got a lot of these custom Heroquest minis, and he was cool enough to kind of give a little bit of sponsorship for this. So you guys are going to get a sneak preview of a lot of his upcoming releases that he has as far as the for the game. So his shop is focused on a lot of the custom HeroQuest miniatures, and it's stuff you could add to the game for the base game or all the expansions. He has a lot of cool custom characters, monsters, cards, things like that, and his card quality is, so I guess I should just give a quick spotlight for his cards. So here are some of his cards. Let's move this out of the way. Some artifacts, and they do scale as the base game sizing, so that's another cool thing. If I keep looking up, I got my monitor, so I want to make sure I'm in frame. It's right there. Cool. So yeah, these cards are very well printed, and they have that nice, it's like the same quality as the Hasbro stuff that you get. And so he's working on all this stuff here. He asked me to paint his new set, the new line of miniatures that he's putting out. He has like the earth element, a rhinoceros, he's got like a panther, some new spiders that add to the game, some more green skins. So he has this cool little, let's see this. So he's got a lot of new additives. All these are Zenithal Prime because I am going to be painting the full set. So they're just primed up, ready to go. Tonight we will be working on the Minotaur. So this here, that's the guy that we'll be working on today. Let some people join in. This is live on Twitch. It'll also be put out on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching this later, if you'd like to be part of like another giveaway, this giveaway is for HeroQuest related stuff, but there's also a lot of different things like giving away a lot of like the paint starter stuff, talking to a few people to kind of do a kind of like donation and sponsorship. So I will, if you want to make sure, if you want to follow in with the events in the calendar, news, all like that, you just go ahead and just subscribe, like, and make sure you stay up to date. So today, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know how far we will get because I do want to get more people an opportunity to win the box, but I do want to get pretty far with getting the base coats down and just kind of let people hop in the live stream and see if we can. He's also going to do a bonus giveaway for those that are going to be joining us. So we have a raffle app that we will put your guys' names in. At a certain point, I'll have you guys drop your names so that I can put it into the raffle app, and it just randomizes everything so that it's a little bit more of a fair game. As people come in, I will be explaining what we're doing again, because I know some guys are either getting off work, so I want to make sure everybody has a chance to kind of sit in and watch, kind of hang out, and as I paint the Minotaur, and maybe as it's drying, I want to see if we can get onto the wolves, make them look like dire wolves. So yeah, I mean, we're all excited. We want to branch off and expand the new players into the game. And so as a bonus, he is going to be giving up his, or he's going to be raffling out also a base set of the four starter miniatures for the heroes. So he has the standard. If you go to HEROSHOP 3D, you can find it. He has an Etsy shop and he has also a website. If you go onto the website, you'll be able to look through all the different, I guess you could call it like the expansions or custom miniatures that he has already. Another thing is he's low. Well, he's in the U.S., so it's might be a little cheaper. If you talk to him direct, he can give you some custom additives, but he does have like the standard, like the encounters, the monsters, things like that. He does print out all the regular things, so that's another cool part that he's able to kind of mix in for a lot of people that do homebrew games, things like that. It's a good tool to add to that. So let me get some paints ready and we'll get started. Make sure as you guys are joining in, watching, to drop your name in so that we know who's live in the chat, and then we will hang out. We have a timer, so after a while we're gonna go ahead and do the first raffle is gonna be the hero set, and if you go ahead and follow the Twitch, it'll be easier for you just to whisper the info, and we'll make sure you guys get the giveaways, whatever you guys win tonight. So a lot of the colors I'm going to use are going to be compared to the classic, like 90s miniatures from Minotaurs and things like that. Anything I do is going to be more of the classic style stuff. So hope everyone's doing good too. Nice kickoff to the year. This month's flying by. Get some more moments for some people to. What's up, man? How you doing? You're able to make it. So give a little bit of chance for some people to start logging on. We're gonna be doing a few giveaways tonight, like I mentioned. We're gonna be doing a box set for the Heroquest game, the expansion. So this is one of them. And we are gonna be doing, it'll be sponsored by HEROSHOP 3D. Again, if you guys get a chance, check out his shop. He has the standard base game miniature replacements, all higher end quality. The sculpts are brand new. They have so much detail. It's almost like, I know a lot of people will get double of the miniatures to maybe use in a different game, or they want to store their base game stuff and use things that are already the resin. If you guys can see the prints that he does, they're very detailed. And even this here, it's a little bit of the bigger boss model sizes, but they do, I mean, even from down to like the fur detail, he does such a great job at sculpting, and it's pretty cool to use these for a lot of the base game stuff. So you could, if you do a lot of the like homebrew quests, or if you pick up the base game of the Heroquest, if you find like an old one or a newer one, you guys can add these monsters in there, or you can kind of save it for like another game. It has all the old Warhammer Heroquest vibes, and all these they're just really cool miniature sculpts. And the fact that he's gonna have cards accommodating all these, like I said, this is all gonna be a newer set that he's putting out right now, but at the moment it's kind of a sneak peek for all that. So let's begin. Right now I'm just gonna start working on a lot of the base stuff. So back in the a lot of the 90s Warhammer miniatures, when they had the Minotaur, they would have a lot of that almost like human flesh. So we're just gonna go based off of that. The layer brushes I'm using, some of them are, this is a round, a size 2, which is equivalent across most brush types, but I recently found this brand, the Master Touch. They've been really fluid with a lot of different, I guess, use. So I'll actually use some base coats with these kind of brushes, and then I'll just work up on the finer detail stuff. Off camera, I'm using a wet palette also, and I'm not using too much of space so I can work on getting a lot of the different color variations across the board on there. With the wet palette, I'm able to get a lot of the finer layers in. I'm going to leave some areas, I'm not going to go wall to wall with the base coat. I'm just going to do, what I mean by that is blocking everything in. I'm still going to give myself enough gap and space to have, to be able to blend something different on there. I like that he used a lot of the old fantasy, like that sculpt, and it gives it that very original 90s model. Some of those 90s model they're very hard to paint. For one, they were either pewter, metal, so it's not like they were easy to sculpt. They were almost like you pour in or something, and you don't get the best of quality. So they're real clunky sometimes. Some guys are going to join in, maybe because they are, I'm assuming, a fan of HeroQuest, or a fellow painter wants to hang out. If you are, hope you guys are able to hobby at the same time. So it makes it like, it's a little cooler to have, I do that sometimes, listening to podcasts or whatever, paint and listen to certain things, or watch just people painting. When I base coat, I tend to look for things that I can depict as far as like the detail, that I can just start to box in layers. The shadows, I'm just going to kind of let them build for themselves and stay in those recesses without having to, there's like a rule of thumb, if you're going to use it for just tabletop gaming, not so much of a display, the things you don't see, you don't really have to worry about painting. But if you are trying to go, it's good practice either way to have, to try to start getting in those hard to reach places and learning to maneuver the models, things like that. So we're gonna see as far as we can get on this guy, and maybe we'll be able to transition to a different miniature. But as we go, I want people to kind of jump in. If you don't know about HeroQuest, it has some great history to where the games are today as far as tabletop dungeon crawlers. But yeah, they have, that game HeroQuest has expanded so much. For it to make a comeback and just hit even stronger, especially since nowadays a lot of people are getting into the dungeon crawls and things like that. This is perfect timing to get people familiarized with the game. It's like where the roots were. So I think that's pretty cool. At some point, I know the creator of HEROSHOP, the sponsor of this segment, this live stream. He might be able to pop in, and he just wants to kind of check it out, see how everything's going. At all time, I've spoken to a few people when they paint. A lot of my, a lot of times I'm kind of, you'll realize I'm using certain posts with my palms are flat on the board, and I'm just either using a pinky post like a tripod, and I'm using just within my range. I'm using my brush to do the back and forth motions, the strokes and things like that. So now, with this said, let's see. I'm gonna try to go ahead and do some of the browns, the leathers. Yeah, so posting when you're painting is a good, I guess, a good practice, good habit to have, so that you have that steadiness, and it's easier for you to, you know, you have more of a. What's up, Joe? How's it going, man? Yep, these are from Berto. He is, man, he's such a great sculpt artist. I'm trying to do these for, so he's just released these guys, and I'm gonna do the art for the website. And he asked me, he's like, hey man, I want you to do the, you know, because we're like HeroQuest nerds, so we talk a lot about the game and plans for what he wants to do, especially because he has all the resources to print cards that are just great quality, the miniatures of great quality. And I'm like, man, people need to hear about you, man. We need to like promote this somehow. So you see is not what you're gonna get. This is gonna be as far as we can, as far as we get. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna see. Let's see how far we can get with painting, and we will. You guys will see the updated stuff once I'm done with the full set, and you'll see exactly. But it's cool to see the progress. I like to do a lot of progress videos because the way it'll look, I tell people you have to just trust the process, and when you get closer to finishing, you'll see that everything had a reason to paint. You know, it's just a build up, so it's not a rushing thing. I'm just kind of hanging out. Yeah, it's funny how Hasbro did it. I wonder if this was in their plan to release everything from the get-go, or if they're just testing the waters out. Because I know a lot of people had different speculations about it, and they were like, well, Hasbro this might be it. They're just gonna do the whoever bought into the Kickstarter kind of thing, and is gonna receive like the Kickstarter. There was really a lot of us thought it was gonna be an exclusive thing where they weren't really gonna branch off to the other expansions. Because like you, I still have my 90s box. It's like duct tape, corners, everything. And to this day I play it, but it's nice. Like when I ran into this shop, to Berto, he was like, I have every single miniature you think of for HeroQuest and custom HeroQuest guys that you could add on for homebrew, things like that. He's like, I have it all. You tell me, you name it, like I'll have it. And sure enough, he delivered with a whole set. The cards are insane. So those guys that have not played HeroQuest, this is almost the same. This is pretty much the layout of the newer updated versions cards, and he just nailed it. The quality is insane. So this is for the Wolf. These guys right here. Yeah, but the Mythics set was that exclusive set, and we were like thinking that, was this it? Are they gonna keep going? So now they're just, you know, cats out of the bag. So, and it's cool, like this for this Mage expansion for the Elf, the newer one that they did. There's a lot of things that they changed for the I think Quest 2 and 7 for the campaign is a little different or renamed or something like that. Or you can get extra, like the winnings is different, but that's kind of like an incentive thing. But they changed a few things around, and now they have a female art. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that'll show you the unboxing of this thing, but let me see. Yeah, this thing is it's really hefty, and it comes with a lot of cool things. The furniture that you can upgrade a lot of your base game furniture with this. It has like so much detail. Now they have the whole, you know, because you can turn into a werewolf in this one. It's such a cool game. To this day, it's just to have a really fun, like, Roots dungeon crawler kind of game. This is it right here. The art, it's pretty cool because they have the art, the female wizard, and the original was the male wizard, and then they would give you the female miniature. This one, it's female wizard art with the male side of it, but they have the archers also, and that's the cool part. But yeah, this is it's a pretty cool expansion. And I know there's people are just, it's crazy how they you know, a lot of people were just jumping all over it. They were scared that this was it and they're not going to make any more. Yep, Hordes and Wizard, that would be pretty crazy. They it would be cool if, I think somebody mentioned, what were they saying? They're asking, or they were wondering if they would remake like Space Crusade, or like Space what other one? It's like Space Crusade, and like Mordheim, I think, is supposed to make another reappearance. But a lot of that, it all comes down to, you know, where GW's at and how they want to play it. But the Warhammer Quest too. I mean, they went crazy with it with all the Cursed City stuff, things like that. The I have a friend that's getting into. He's actually watching right now. He's getting into Warhammer, and I was like, man, the lore and the universe of Warhammer uh, is it's vast. It's very wide. Uh, it's not like, and they kind of did that with HeroQuest. They started adding the expansions and things like that. But I mean, the Codex books for Warhammer alone is just like you better have a whole library shelf at your house for that, and it's all over the place. Which is, I mean, I grew up on it. That's how I kind of got into the skirmish games was Warhammer. But when they started releasing the Age of Sigmar, all the newer stuff, and then they were like bringing out the Warhammer Quest. I got confused when I saw Black Fortress because I'm like, this doesn't look like Warhammer Quest. It's all space, and they got like a ship involved now, and it's cool. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, but it's very. Sometimes I'd rather tell people start with HeroQuest, especially the newer stuff. It's a lot more player friendly. The app. Have you played with the app? That's right. So like you guys have to play. You guys have to play this HeroQuest game. I don't think I've mentioned it a few times, but I don't think we've actually sat down. I have a group of some of the guys that actually want to play the board games, and I've spoke about it, and I said we should play HeroQuest because it's something new to them, and I know they're down, but it's one of those things that it's just time. We all have to get together and figure it out. But it's have you ran the so how do you so with the app, Joe? What are your thoughts on that? Because it's kind of neat how we can just kind of let that thing run and you can just do solo. I know that was the biggest thing. Everybody was looking for like, what's the best solo game out there? And I was like, just get HeroQuest and run the app. There's a lot of cool app-driven games out there, like the Journeys in Middle Earth and like the Destinies and things like that. Get my silver. Also, in here I know two of the guys that are painters already. Who else paints? So Joe says, I like it so that I can be a hero sometimes instead of always being Zargon, and that's right. At the same time, Zargon is going to be like your best friend because it's like you could pick it up and play HeroQuest at any time almost. So do you paint also? I know a lot of people that just get the minis and they don't really dive into the miniature painting aspect of it. I like to see different outcomes from different artists in their painting, or the guys on the groups and the forums where they different color schemes that they do for these models. It's insane. That's why here I am trying to do like the whole simpleton by the book fantasy Minotaur, but I still want to do some flair to give it something more unique and make it feel a little more custom because this is a custom model. The dry brushing I'm doing is with this. I've been a big fan with dry brushing metals. I tried a silver metal from these guys, and it was a little too shiny, a little too chrome. Once I got turned on to the Army Painter gunmetal, I think this is the go-to for as far as metallics go to dry brush on weapons and armor, things like that. If you do weathering on ships or like a battle tank or something like that, if you want to find a really good weathering metallic color, I would suggest doing the gunmetal. And the brush I'm using this is an actual it's considered a dry brush. I haven't really been a fan of too many dry brushes because they sometimes are the bristles aren't soft enough. Like I need something softer, so I turn to a lot of the makeup brushes, but this one I've been a fan of, and it's the Princeton brush size 6 round, and this, if you can see the way it bends, how easy it is. It's like really soft to the touch, and that's what I want so that it's not really I'm really just grazing the surface and just getting the highlighted areas. Now this is going to be another form of, I'm just going to give it a base, like the bottom layer of it is going to be this dry brush of metal. Some of the armor detail I'm going to give almost like if it has like a jewel or something. So that'll be a different color. But with dry brushing, it's all pressure application. I'm not really, and controlled obviously. I'm not really trying to go too crazy with it. And sometimes it's circular motions, follow a direction just to kind of brush back, getting the edge at the same time, and also being well aware of where the pigment is that you picked up on the, so like especially if you're using a wet palette, make sure that the moisture isn't, not too much of it is trapped at the top of it, because then your paint will actually come out a little too vibrant if you don't want it to be that bright. And then I'll go into my paper towel to just kind of wipe off some of the top of it so that I have a nice gradation and transition between where my brightest point, where I want it to be, and then just start to fade it. So if I kind of already regulated my recipe, I guess you can call it, where if I'm going to the tip of the sword, I'm just going to kind of fade it down. So it's beginning the transition of silver, of that like metal look. And the axe is same thing. I'm just kind of balancing everything around it, just making sure that it's all on one side and it's like even in proportion. So it has like a lot of armor, and he's wearing almost like this plate, which I want to make this plate is going to actually turn into bronze. After I'm done using this, I'm going to give it a wash to darken up the colors a bit. Then I'm going to go in with the bronze copper color, so make it look like his back plate, top of it is copper, the bottom is going to be like chainmail. So you can see the difference between the black. Let's see here. There it is. I just want to make sure there's a little bit of delay. I want to make sure you guys are caught up. And then there's that brush effect. So the brush is real subtle, but I mean compared to the black, it's you guys can see as far as where it's actually hitting on surface. I have a lot of plans for it, for all these miniatures actually. Like these wolves, I'm gonna do a black, kind of like a black wolf. You know, like you see a dire wolf that looks like the great wolves or whatever. You'll have a brownish warg looking wolf, and then I'm gonna do the standard gray wolf, so that you can differentiate them. Because the card is for the wolf, the way on HEROSHOP 3D, if you guys go on there, it'll state, or it'll say, you know, included card or whatever. He has like the extra artifacts that he created for this so this is all the newer stuff that he has, right? Iron plate mail, these are all things that are equipables or things that you find, things like that. But I mean, this alone gives you a description here. Faithful animal ally. So this is a pet. You know, you can now take on a pet. So I want to, if you have a certain character, one of the characters is going to carry one of the wolves, it's just nice to have, you know, options. You have a brown wolf, kind of like a warg rider kind of thing, and then you'll have the black, like really dark wolf, and then have a gray dire wolf. So yeah, super clean. Joe says I use some super clean, the cheap makeup brushes, Dollar Tree, and they're super soft, plus a Citadel Army Painter dry brush. So I had I think this is the Army Painter dry brush. Yep, so this one is one of the ones I was mentioning. It's a little too flat, and the bristles over time, they seem to flare out, which, I mean, the dry brush is gonna get beat, right? It's gonna get beaten down, and that's tend to happen, but for some reason, the makeup brushes, they just hold up really good, and like you said, they're like a pack for like $6, and my go-to is, I found the same thing, it was like $1, the dollar store or whatever, they had this very fine dry brush, so I could show you in comparison. Here's my liner, which is a round, 2 round, and then there's my dry brush. It's very similar. Now, the reason why I like that is because this is easier to hit that detail. So I'm gonna get detail dry brushing, really precision. There's sometimes if you're working on certain like a Warhammer a miniature, or if it's like a Star Wars miniature, whatever you're doing, there's a lot of bends and little areas you got to get, and you want to fit a dry brush in there, whether it's a very like faint highlight or a blend. You can use something as fine as that. It's still soft, and I think this is meant for like the eyeliner or something, but that's really key. And then you have your typical makeup brushes, which this one's cool. I've used for terrain and larger areas of cover. And then this I'll actually use, and you guys might see me use it right in a bit, but I've just been so, I mean, the differences are, it really does make a huge impact of what you're choosing for dry brush, because then you can control the area that you're dry brushing. Sorry, I'm not in the frame. There you go. What? So yeah, these guys are the ones. Right now I'm just using the round guy. Trying to finish this this light dry brushing before I do a little wash. While the wash dries, I can go ahead and maybe switch to another miniature, because I have some colors that I can use across the board, and that's another good thing to do. But I just sometimes I had somebody ask me if I ever used if I ever noted what I use, and I definitely do. Sometimes if I'm working on a project like this, I'll have a notepad and I'll just kind of put down what I'm using for which miniature, what colors, things like that. Not necessarily for the reason that if I leave and come back kind of thing. It's more so because I can then cross-reference with another miniature if I'm batch painting or things like that. It's easier for you just to be like, well, this brown worked on another brown, or like for the wood, I'm gonna keep this same hue of the brown on this, like from the orcs or things like that. I think sometimes I had a conversation with somebody that was telling me that he has almost like a writer's block when he paints, which means that sometimes he can't really think of a color scheme, or he can't think of what to paint, like what color. And a lot of it is just get some base colors down, like I'm doing right now. So I got some skin tones for the body, a little bit of shine on the armor, some brown on like little parts here and there. But again, this isn't done. The legs are obviously going to be like a white fur, so I'm going to shoot for that. And this isn't done. I'm just this is like sketching. If you guys could imagine sketching like on a notepad, this is what I'm doing right now. This is a plan. But if you look at the bottom of the Minotaur, a lot of the shadows I didn't even touch, because again, they're hidden. We're not really going to be looking at the shadow. What's more eye appealing is what's above. Some of that shadow doesn't even get touched. So as far as like with painting, and sometimes the depth of it, I'll just brush whatever I'm doing into it, like a blend, or you can glaze it and let that kind of transition to each other. But this is just sketching. I'm just trying to, and I'm not powering through it. This is just kind of like keeping the pace, I guess. There's a lot of like for being a older style miniature, for it being like the 90s miniature, it has a lot of detail, which is a good thing, because then you can do some cool blends or cool tricks of imagine the 90s when these guys were painting these. They didn't know much about this non-metallic metal or true metallic metal. They were just trying to emulate it, or they're trying to like really make up their own recipe for it. But it was very hard on a miniature that's clunky, but yet this guy it's a very modern twist onto the old style of fantasy miniatures. What is everybody painting at the moment? Not now, but what are you guys working on? If you guys are working on something, let me know. I'd like to know what's on your workbench. If it's a D&D character, if you're trying to catch up on some other projects you have going on. I know time is it's kind of hard to beat it as far as finding the time, I guess. to paint, but any time is better than no time. This is the brick washed black. It looks very dark, but I know it's kind of like a gray tone. I'm using that for the hose, the base of it right now. The Elf Wizard. What Elf Wizard? Is it from the D&D packs, the Pathfinder? Did you get any more Warhammer stuff? Is that tonight? Is today the day that you're gonna get more Warhammer stuff? I want to put some hints of gold and shines like that on the little spikes that he has all over the place. Also on the like the different handles. Maybe do a little bit hints of gold here and there. I want to look like he's kind of like a royal guard kind of minotaur. A guy you don't want to run into. That's nice. You got a DMD pack. And those are the ones that came primed. Remember I was talking to you about the some of them do come like ready to paint. They advertise it, but it's still good to kind of clean them down and then do the old primer zenithal, something with a highlight just to kind of speed the process and give you this kind of a value. Then flagstone bases, undead. Which goblins are you working on for the game, or is it? And flagstone. Okay, the bases. The undead. I like the comparison of the abomination and all this. You know, I know they had a little issue with the. I don't know if they want to say it, copyright, because they were like, this is too similar to Games Workshop stuff, but the model scopes are insane. They're so cool. Yep, for Heroquest. I know, so Joe just said, I struggle with coming up with paint schemes, especially for the mythic heroes that I haven't found painted examples of. So at that point, I know what you mean. The painter's block, right? That's what I kind of mentioned. And I mean, sometimes people are like, they say, oh, well, I'm just not creative, or I'm not. The thing is that there's ways to find a scheme like this here is based off of an old fantasy minotaur, right? But if you look at comics from like Conan or the artwork from the old Warhammer fantasy books, I recently went to like a miniature painting convention kind of thing, and it was like a local event, and it was mainly the World War II style of the hobby, right? But I found this book that was illustrated, showing a lot of the old Knights Templar kind of thing. It was insane. I opened it and I just found so many color schemes, and I was like, there's all the ideas in one book. And that book was like a old relic, right? And the guy was just kind of, it was like a big swap meet, so he gave it to me on a really, really good deal. And the first thing I thought was the references for armor and where to put, like, for all like the different shines and things like that of like a helmet or like a bracer. All those references are in that book because it's all painted, and it's all color schemes. You could look at like the Conan comic books or Prince of Persia. There's a lot of things that I like to reference in, like for instance, Game of Thrones, the Dothraki and the Targaryens. I like to think of Prince of Persia, Conan, and some of like that old, like the He-Man era, right? And it gives me color schemes for all that. The Night's Watch, and you can make it a lot of different color schemes for them, not just the blacks, but you can do maybe more like a blue tint to them. I think, yeah, the writer's block, or sorry, the painter's block, that happens often. Sometimes it's hard to just stare at a model and just have the colors come to you, right? So the one thing that does kick it off is whenever you do, like I just said, just sketch it on there. A lot of these colors aren't going to be what they are right now. Like for instance, the skin tone's going to be different. The fur, I'm still contemplating what color exactly, but I'm just rolling with what I know already. If you have like a go-to for the leathers like I do, like my browns and things like that, do that first. And then you'll start seeing the miniatures already come to life, right? So I'm going to do my browns, I'm going to do my shines here and there, nothing too crazy, but cuz it's going to develop as you go. Like I mentioned, I want to do some kind of make this shine here, kind of keep it that like the chainmail. The back is gonna have a copper to chainmail, kind of a transition to like separate the two plates, and then maybe do something different with the two like spikes on the shoulders. The handles, I want to do something different with those also. But you see, I only mentioned something different because at this point, it's one of those things that it's gonna develop as I go, and there's so many little symbols and things like that on the miniature. So I'm trying to, and the card art, that's another thing too. The card art, and they have a lot of people online have done illustrations of different, like the books and things like that, and that shows you a lot of, you know, what to paint. Like especially like the elves and the wizards, they have such crazy colors on their like tabard and things like that. So he also has these two dwarves that he the shop, you guys could find these, are going to be released soon. Different male and female dwarf, kind of a dwarf sculpt. Let's see here, get in the frame. These guys are tough. They look so good. The wood grain on his hammer, it just looks. And then she has like a mace. I mean, look at that detail on that shield. So all this is going to be available soon, right? I know this is all going to be available soon. I'm going to finish up painting all these guys, and he's going to put it up on the HEROSHOP 3D website. This guy looks, I showed him, I think already, he has like the pirate eye patch. Check this out. He has, so here is the difference. These are from the 90s. Like this sculpt, he found I don't know how he got it, but he got the original, like the actual sculpt statue of this guy. And this is supposed to be like the earth elemental, kind of like a earth golem kind of thing, right? And there's a card for it, but the miniature was very hard to find, and he found one. And this thing is just insane. It's so cool. Plus, he's got this rhino, like, look at this rhinoceros. You see, so with that zenithal, it kind of showed all the raised parts of the miniature, and that does help you differentiate everything. And then it kind of shows you, because you think of a rhino, I mean, you got what, gray, like different tones of grays, you know, some shadows. But you see this and you're like, well, I can add some glimmer here, or like some cut marks or things like that. The base of it, it's just, there's so much you can do with it now. And when you do the prime, the spiders for like, he's got tons of these. I have like 6 more or 8 more behind me, but these are just a few just to show off. But these are going to be added with card so that you can play these in the game. This is so cool, the cat. And he's got like a snake dragon. Let's see, where is he at? Where'd he go? He's probably back here. Let me find him. So this is the panther. Or not a panther. This is like a saber tooth. tiger kind of thing. You can see the teeth. Then the wolves. So yeah, the male, female, and he's got. Had it somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is like the little dragon worm kind of thing. Once I paint them, it's kind of hard to see in black and white, but once I paint them up, they're gonna be, you'll be able to see all the different details. I'm excited for all the green skins, like the orcs and these guys are like, they got like little hoods over them, but they're like little warriors. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, these guys are cool. This one's holding up a head. It's like Ragnar or something. Crazy. We got about, let me see here, a few minutes. We'll have everybody kind of start putting their names down, and we'll do the first raffle, which is going to be the original hero set. So it'll be the 4 characters, the 4 hero characters. Give it some time. So the way we'll do it, if you're new or you just entered the stream, we're just gonna have everybody kind of put their name down. We'll put it in the randomizer, and that's gonna be for the first giveaway. And so you're waiting, Joe. I think you said you're waiting on this, the shipping, right? You said on this one, this thing here. Look at that, crazy artwork. Like you mentioned, the artwork of the card matched. I mean, it's true. These guys have those new, the new ogres are in here also, like the big dudes there. Such nice sculpts. They have like the mohawk and everything. Plus the that wizard's in here, the Sinestra, the Archmage. This thing has a lot of different new additives, like I was mentioning, that you can add for the game, for the base game, and it's just I think we were all waiting for this, and like you said, waiting for hordes and wizards. Some of the hardest ones to get from the original, from the game, man, it was a hunt for a while to even try to, like, and then people were just price gouging them. And then I talked to Berto, and he's like, this is literally what he said, what do you need? And I was like, you know, he's just, that's how you know he's got it all. Oh, yep. Last company. That's what's about some of those Kickstarter companies that are trying to do the sales. A lot of that issue was happening with Frosthaven. People were waiting for it, and it's like, oh well, we didn't get our box delivered yet. Well, if you cancel it, if you win tonight, you cancel that order, get them a refund, and then there you go, got yourself a new the Mage pack. We gotta get some new players though. That's why I was hoping we could get some new players on the stream so that they can start with something, get motivated to get the base game or whatever the case may be. What I'm going to use for the leather, all the brown, I'm going to use hardened leather. That's going to help me kind of bring down some of those tones. And then for the other, like for the wash on the skin, I might use like a light or a dark tone. Like, let's see here. This is going to be a dark tone for like all the shiny areas. So let's see how that starts to look. Move some of you guys out of the way. Once I give it some, kind of let the wash seep down to the base, I will then give it another highlight with that chainmail, that gunmetal color, and that'll just help the rest pop out. I'm going to be doing, so for instance, like you guys are painters, I have a few Game Master stuff that comes with a lot of the starter campaign for a character, things like that, and a lot of like the paints and things from the Game Masters, their creators. And I will be announcing when that giveaway will be. I'm trying to let the channel grow a little bit more, and especially within the community when it's Warhammer based, or sorry, HeroQuest based. We want the HeroQuest peeps to get a chance to, like you said, if maybe they're in that same position, if they're stuck on, I don't know, I just want to see maybe a how to paint or a different style to paint, little techniques, tips and tricks kind of thing. I want to be able to provide that. Now, for the giveaway, I want to be able to inspire new painters. If you are a painter, well, this is a very new set from Game Masters. If you guys look it up, you'll find what it is. It comes with 4 characters, also 4 heroes that you build, and it's inspired. It comes with brushes, it comes with paints. It's a very like beginner's guide kind of thing. So that'll be coming up soon. So make sure you guys are subscribed and follow if you're not already, and you'll get a chance to be a part of that. If you are watching this on YouTube and you want to be a part of another giveaway, we'll just do that. And then let's move on to doing some of that leather stuff, the leather tones. I'll find some here. This is called Hardened Leather. It's a speed paint. The speed paints, you guys have, if you're familiar with them, you know what their purpose are. If not, this is a very thinned down. The viscosity of the paint is very light, so that you're able to use it as almost kind of like a wash, which I use it like a wash, but I do thin it down, and I will place it over parts of leather to let it seep, and it'll give it almost like a red tint. So it's easier for you to start off leathers that way, so that you can then find the highlights and go from there. So once the leather is has that red orange tint, let it dry up, just like as you would a wash, and then you can go back in and do highlights above that. Just that little bit of speed paint that I added on top of that base coat already gave it this crazy, like, it just pops. The vibrancy is insane. So you see it looks almost like that orange brown compared to the back. Such a difference. The Army Painters Speed Paint brand is, or their the colors are, they have some really good line from it. I was doing a paint segment on, was it like a few weeks ago, and it's funny that you mentioned the music, because I was using an airbrush, and the microphone was by the airbrush, and I didn't realize it until after, but I was trying to talk, and the thing was like really loud, and then it's like you don't realize it until after. Just a few minutes here, and we'll start the first giveaway. Let some people to go and hop on. For the wooden parts, I'm going to do another, this is actually an air color that I thin out, and it's leather brown with the kind of like a contrast wash. Gives it that wood grain effect. Pressure is everything when you're applying these things, especially it's so light, you have to be careful you don't have too much of that paint where it starts running into some areas you don't want it to. For the body himself, I'm going to use a light tone wash. And I don't always use washes. I like to build bases. It's nice to kind of start making your way away from using a wash as a crutch. It's maybe to tint things, but the more you paint, the less you'll use washes, because now you'll just rely on your blending and contrast colors, things like that. We'll start at the top here. She's definitely gonna have like this, almost like a cow aesthetic, but I'm gonna give it that, like the fur goes above it, kind of like the old like Warcraft druids or something. What campaign have you played all of the? Well, I'm assuming you played all the campaigns that come with a quest book, but which one's the favorite? Which one is one that's you've kind of played that's kind of a fun one to run into? Because of those, like he mentioned, this can be an app-driven game, so you can just yourself get HeroQuest, get the app, and just kind of it'll randomize everything for you. And I haven't yet seen a lot of the art, the cards for these miniatures. I know he's working on them. I haven't really seen what art he's using. So this is definitely going to be like my take on these miniatures, as far as, you know, it's not going to be like the art, I'm sure. But this is just going to be another variant of it. So I like the little tint that it's giving. This is a light tone wash, and it's the tint that it's giving for the bright skin that I just applied. If you guys are still watching, now's the time to drop in your names. So that, give me a minute and I'll grab the randomizer and we will get to raffling. As far as schedule goes, I feel like I'm going to do every other week. I'll be doing something, whether it's D&D related or find a topic and run with it, or if you guys want to see something, just let me know as far as the painting goes, or miniature. If you guys have a miniature in mind you guys want to see painted, or to see a variant of it, let me know. I'm always down to take on a new color scheme or a character. Keep it, if you can, away from the 75+mm size, because I definitely, at that point, you're just going to watch me do one area for sure, not a full miniature model. But make sure you stay up to date with the news, the channel, there's links, there's a few other, all the other stuff you guys could get on for updates. This will be on the YouTube, so after it's been done, so that others could see that this is kind of what we're going to be doing, and see how far we can get on a miniature. Not necessarily completing it, but doing some like very either it's fantasy style or doing techniques or different kind of like I guess a theme is what I'm trying to find. This could be a certain theme, like the HeroQuest, the Warhammer, Star Wars Legion, things like that. I'm gonna give it a tint for the metal, So when I brush it, it already has a little bit of a shade. This wash acts really, really good, and this is a light tone. The darker tone has a lot more of that deep contrast shadow to it. Because once it fully dries, because at this point, when we're applying washes and shades, some of you might know you want to wait. You don't want it to, you don't want to go right back onto it with highlights and things like that, because it's all wet. So you want it to dry before you move to the next step. So this would be a point where I would put him down and maybe move on to like a wolf, right? So now we could start on this guy while he dries, and then we can apply the details for this. We could do them either that warg brown, or we can do like that dark wolf. I think the darker one might be good, because I think one of you guys is working on a wolf or a owl bear, and this would be a cool chance to see the different like schemes you can do and little tricks. And this is the Minotaur we are checking out. So this is the reference I was using for those of you who are wondering what I meant. Yeah, see, it's very old school Warhammer fantasy. And as far as the wolf, I picked this wolf up earlier. It's a dire wolf, so it fits the scheme perfect. And I thought this guy was pretty cool. So it's darker blend. That's what we're gonna kind of try to go for as far as the contrast color and scheme. So we'll set that there. Always, like, another thing that helps is have a reference out while you're painting. That always helps you kind of move along a little bit. Easier transitions and things like that. Plus your color scheme, it's kind of like a roadmap. So if you are painting, there's a few companies that have a wet palette that has like a phone holder, so you guys can just put your phone on there, or your reference, or whatever it is, like your iPad, and use that as a reference while you are at work, so it's easier for like color combinations and things like that. All right, so we have a few names in. Yeah, never completed original quests. I played using the Dark Bricks app. Completed the base quest. Have you ever gone any of the like Sunday quests, if you know what I'm talking about? The additives, the quests that are, it's like a fan-made quest, but you can find them like, I think it's lulu.com or something like that, and a lot of guys they made their own editions, which I know Berto's working on some stuff. So HEROSHOP 3D will eventually have his own quests, and he's gonna have his own I mean, you name it, he'll have his custom miniatures. I guarantee you, if you're looking for something to add or proxy in for a character, he will have it on that shop. If you want to run HeroQuest as a Minotaur, it's right there. If you want to run him as, you know what I mean, he's got a lot of different things in there. All right, I'm gonna plug some names in, and this is for the first giveaway. This will be for the Hero Pack. By the way, if you win and if it needs to be shipped, don't worry about it. It'll be covered. For the heroes, I'll just send him the information of whoever wins the hero set, and he'll go ahead and send you the which is like the barbarian, elf, dwarf, wizard. He'll send that over. As far as the game box, same thing. Whoever wins it, yeah, just whisper the address if it needs to get shipped. For that, make sure you're just follow the channel, like the channel, so that you're able to communicate. If you do win, go ahead and whisper it over, and we will get that sent to you. But yeah, those Sunday quests are pretty cool. They have a lot of different scenarios and kind of outcomes that you can do with all that. I know Pablo was in, I put his name in there. few more names. Put this raffle running. So Joe, what stuff have you got from Birdo already? Do you have the standard packs, things like that? Let's make it darker. Yeah, the Heroquest builder app is pretty awesome. I know what you're talking about. I got some templates off of there. It's pretty cool. Put these names in. Tones, that looks like a pretty good darker shade for that. All right, let's do the raffle. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Give some time. Alright, let's see the raffle. Let's kick it in. Ready? Here we go. Closing the first raffle out, and the winner goes to. So we got Lalo in the win. So congrats, Lalo. You won the hero pack. Make sure you use. Make sure you send over your address. Let's see. The big one. Let's give it some time so we can get that. Congrats, Lalo. You got the set of the character heroes. Means that you're gonna have to get into Heroquest now. Congrats. Let's do the next one here. I'm using that same brick, black for this guy here. This is the bigger raffle, so I want to make sure we have as many people as we can to fit in. Chances are great if you are just kind of hanging out. That was the whole point. We wanted just people to kind of tune in, see what's coming up for the shop as far as his the HEROSHOP 3D new releases that he's working on the cards. Again, quality is insane. The cards are amazing, just like the Hasbro quality. I got to thank him again for sponsoring it and also for giving you guys a chance to win something great as far as getting connected with the shop, things like that. I like to see everybody's painting stuff, so you can definitely drop in your profiles, go check out whatever you guys are working on, painting. Stay tuned for the next giveaway whenever I plan that event for it's the Game Crafter. Let me pull it up because it actually came in. I was talking to a few of the companies, and they were like nice enough to shoot me over a sample of they just released it. Let me find it here. Game Master, there it is. Check that out. This bad boy. Try to get the glare out of the way. So this will be the next giveaway for the channel, and it's a. Let me see if this works better. So this is it comes with 4 heroes. It's a paint set. It's brand new on the market. These guys were cool to send me one over to kind of help. They were more so, I did their terrain for the Game Master, I think it was like a dungeon terrain, and I liked it. It was great. So I seen that they were coming out with this, and this is just like a role-playing paint set. So it has all the Game Master colors, brush, and 5 figures you get to build and paint. So that's going to be on the next giveaway. I don't know if it'll be the next event, but definitely in the future I want to get some, either if you already are painting, you could try out their ink stuff, or if you're new to painting, this is a perfect time to build up that paint, the listing for it. So let's see, make sure everybody's name is still in there. Thanks for hanging out too, guys, for like just watching the progression as far as the process for these guys being painted, and to check out the new release of minis that are soon to drop. Let's see, this is the big boy giveaway. The top of the wolf, I'm going to kind of give it that darker to light transition, so I'm dry brushing that brick right over it, just to kind of start giving it that contrast of the fur. Just to make sure you guys are with me, go ahead and drop your names again, and I'll throw it in the randomizer app. So you see the buildup already is just kind of getting ready for me to add like browns and lighter colors to the bottom half of it. Just gonna double check to see we got those names in. Big moment, big moment. Alright, ready guys for the big box giveaway. I'll move this out of the way. brand new. I know Berto said he was going to try to make it in, just to pop in, say what's up, see how the stream was going. So he'll probably be watching this later. But definitely, again, big appreciation, big thanks to HEROSHOP 3D. There we go. For the big box Heroquest. Ready, randomizing. And the winner, looks like the winner's Joe. So it looks like you're taking the box home, my boy. So go ahead and whisper whenever you congrats, man. We'll go ahead and whisper to me your info, and then we'll make sure we get that over to you. So that's cool. There you go. I put in your guys's made sure your listings were up for it, so you get to take that home. Looks like you're gonna have to cancel that order. Yeah, if you just send over your info, do a whisper or something, or if you contact Berto, he also has the information, and we'll make sure you get that box. So congrats on that win. Thanks for hanging out too. Nice little addition. You could rock one and stock one. You can play with open one up, and then you can just put one up on the shelf, put it in a shadow box. We can still do a wash for this guy. So whispering, if you follow the channel, you should be able to go ahead and get in communication with me. So, or you can follow the link. There's if you go to the link of like the page, you should be able to see, like for instance, like the Instagram, you could send me a direct message through there if you want to do that. So maybe go to the Instagram, follow, and just send me a message. Just be like, hey, this is Joe, the winner, and then we can go that route if you can't figure out the whispering, because it's basically like a tab. You're able to I think you have to be like basically following a person. Yeah, whichever works. You want to do it on IG, that helps too. And then you can, if you guys go and follow the Instagram, it's paint and ink, letter N ink underscore, just like the just like the channel, paint and ink, and then underscore miniatures. And then you guys can stay up to date with all the new painting stuff I'm doing, as far as the like what am I working on, things I've completed. It's kind of like a portfolio. And then you'll also see the streaming events if I have, for instance, like that new box set of paints. So it gives you a chance to win some more stuff. The giveaways is cool because, like, again, what we ultimately want to do is get more painters, get more people to, you know, get into the hobby of not just playing the board games but painting the miniatures. It's something that is why we're trying to do, you know, aside of the whole promotion thing. I mean, we got a new player tonight for HeroQuest because, yeah, if that works, I'll just start the combo. Don't worry about it. But yeah, like Lalo just won a miniature set for a game he doesn't have yet. So now we got a new gamer for the, you know, for the group. That's something awesome. More minis to paint. So that's kind of like the, I guess the mission and the goal is to have one or the other. It's just get some more people in the community, get some more painters out there, and give up some info also so that people have a little bit of insight on how to do certain things. the build up. Like this has only been about, let me see, this has been about, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll be able to see like a progress of, like, a lot of people are saying I don't have a lot of time to hobby, things like that, which is understandable. So at least this amount of time is perfect to get some base stuff out of the way. And I mean, this guy looks tabletop ready, you know, if you want to just throw him out there. Then you come back, finish him, work on him. So this is not, again, it's not gonna be the final result. The final set is gonna be, I'll put it up on the Instagram, things like that. But this is just kind of like the start. So, but yeah, super excited for these minis to drop as far as when he has them available, so other people could use them also. But at least I was able to give a little bit of a sneak peek. Exclusive. These dwarves are just, man, they're gonna be so great additives to run these guys. Some alternate sculpts. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to, like I said, subscribe the YouTube of this channel. I'll have the live stream on there. Stay posted for the next event. Just kind of check in. I'm gonna kind of do a regular painting sesh. The next one might be kind of a recap on this. Plus, it's got to be a theme, so I want to push like another like skin tone variations, things like that, or metallics, because I really like the metallic stuff. It's cool to make the shine on armor and things like that. But yeah, make sure you guys follow the links if you aren't already. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Congrats to the winners tonight. We got a few lucky peeps out there. Take the big box home. Thanks again to HEROSHOP for providing the miniatures and the sponsorship. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted on all that. Till then, make sure, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining in. You guys are awesome just to kind of talk shop. I like this. It's kind of, it's hard to communicate at times, but it's you know, I like to pick people's brains too, and about the game, and encourage and help others. So as far as getting into the whole HeroQuest addiction, because the HeroQuest just kind of, it expands the universe of it. So definitely keep a lookout for like I said, the new events, and see you guys soon on the next one. I'm sure Berto's gonna be stoked to see that he's got some new people that are into the hobby, winning some stuff and some of his miniatures. So thanks, guys. Congrats. We'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a good night. Make sure you try to find that time to hobby. Keep that paint on the brush. And yep, we'll see you guys on the next run. You guys have a good one.